So, crowd loans. I want to reveal the three that I'm going to go into, my tactics, and how you can do it. Hello, welcome to the channel. If you're new, subscribe, bell button, leave a like. I do appreciate the support. It helps. Make sure you trigger the algorithm by putting a decent comment in below. So, you know this, Patreon members anyways do what I'm going to be jumping into. They knew at the start of the week. Going to do a little bit of a roundup of what each one is, how you can kind of get involved, and my tactics around each one basically, because I know a lot of people are asking those questions. Make sure you also follow me on Twitter because I like to be honest, and I do get a bit of abuse, but I do try and not to. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? But let's talk about crowd loans first because it's going to become probably a feature of the crypto space for the next coming years, essentially with Polkadot, with Parachains, and these are going to run till March. Then there'll be another batch coming later on, right? So not every project can win. The amount of money that is already going into these, it's ridiculous, really. It's like a massive amount of money. These are super projects. These are massive. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. So I will reveal the three that I'm going to go through, which is very, very simple. You've probably already guessed them anyways because of what they are. But at the same time, though, in terms of explaining what they are, I think it's important to know because for me personally, I would not recommend you to do this if you've got a small amount of dot. The reason being, we might, at the end of the day, we don't know where the market's going to go. We've got to play what we see. And if the market does come crumbling down in like 3 or 4 months, potentially, who knows, if we do get a carbon copy of what happened in 2017, 2018, it's kind of not really a good thing to be in if you've got a small amount and you can actually profit more by selling and then rebuying back low with Polkadot, potentially. And then you can then stake and then wait for the next runs because there's always going to be parachains, there's always going to be crowd loans. So there's always going to be other opportunities, especially in a bear market. You can just wait for these to go into the open market. So there's always going to be different caveats to that. So just be careful, right? But I'll go into the screen, I'll go over it in terms of the three that I'm going to go for. And yeah, we'll reveal kind of my thought process in how I'm going to distribute my own profits and how I'm going to do things at the time of me talking about it, things may change, but ultimately this is the information that we've got. Right, so the first website you need to go on to is parachains.info. Really, really easy. There's another one called .marketcap as well, which is easy. As you know, go to auctions, you can find out what's happening, right? So with regard to what has already happened and happening, you can see the amount of money going into Moonbeam. These first batches of parachains are going to end on the 18th, right? So most likely we'll find out the exact reward for either a Kala or Moonbeam, essentially, between those two, I believe. Then we'll get the other ones kind of running through, right? So with that, how do you find out what's what? So I will reveal which ones I'm going to go for, but I want to explain to you how to get involved in these in case you've missed some of my other videos. The main thing that you need to do is go on to and get your Polkadot.js extension. Make sure you've hooked it up to a wallet. I use Fearless Wallet on my phone and I've hooked it up into that, and then I utilize the browser. Simple as that, right? On some of them you can get rewards. So for example, Akali, you can get extra rewards, little bonuses, which is pretty cool. If you want to get a bonus, there's a link below into my referral link. If you want to do that, you get like, I don't know what the percentage is. I think it is a 5% bonus, maybe a bit more than that, or it was a bit more than that at the start, I don't know. But yeah, really, really simple. So the first one I've gone into was Moonbeam, right? You're probably wondering why. Well, I know a lot of people are kind of contesting this a little bit, which I understand because of Moon River. Moon River on KSM did, in terms of like distribution of rewards, really, really high. So you got, for one KSM, you got 15. It's quite a lot. And considering Moon River actually was a higher price point than KSM at one point, that's parabolic, right? So what is this? This is the bigger version of it, essentially the one on Polkadot, which would be the main kind of the VIP chain, essentially. The future of multi-chain. This is where we can talk about Ethereum. It is essentially Ethereum 3.0. If we're going to contest it in a simple, easy language to understand, this will enable Ethereum to work properly on its own layer 1 blockchain, utilizing the security features of Polkadot, which is kind of interesting. So already you can when you do your your crowd loan, you can actually put your Ethereum address in here to get paid, which is pretty easy and awesome to do. So you can see it here, the smart contracts of the language of Ethereum. It's fully publishing capabilities, the whole Web3 RPC pointer there, and then obviously you got the old signature and the account keys. It's pretty mega, that. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think long term, I think this is going to be a one that'll stick around for a long time, because it is essentially making Polkadot, or a part of the project of Polkadot itself as a layer 0, have a layer 1 that will support smart contracts for pretty much every chain, which is unbelievable when you think about it. So it's going to have a bridge towards KSM as well. It's going to have everything, and we're already seeing, look at the partnerships already. There's a lot going on here. It is massive, and the token is going to be called Glimmer. So that's a token that you'll get, and yeah, simple as that. That is why I like it, and if you want to do further research, please do, but this is a multi-chain. This is going to be happening. In terms of how to get involved in it, again, very, very simple. Don't have to go through it too much. Go onto that parachain.info and you'll get the join now button. That will lead you to this in terms of how to contribute. And the contributions are, in my opinion, super simple. A lot of people do ask me, do I do it via an exchange? Well, I don't personally, because I don't tend to use exchanges much. I tend to just use them as a use and abuse policy, where I buy my tokens and I get off. It's very, very simple, you know, in that way. But some people do. It's up to you. Anyways, I want to talk about BlockFi very, very quickly. Now, as you know, I talk about this a lot because it's, you can see it in the top of this video, it'll say paid advertisement, right? Funny that. Got to declare them. But at the end of the day, we've got to think long term. Long term, and this is where my tactics for crowd loans also come in. Same as this. I'm willing to sit on it. I'm willing to get distribution on a daily basis, pretty much. Certainly on this. Bit different in the parachains, which I will explain in a second. However, if you've got profit and you want to have stable currencies and you want to get paid in crypto, well, use crypto, right? Blockchain enabled traditional finance and all kinds of bollocks, chalk and cheese, right? So when you think decentralized finance within a blockchain, within all the kind of permissions and capabilities that it has, it's always going to pay more versus the traditional finance system. So this is why. So BlockFi, there you go. Link below. Nice little bonus for you. Going back a step, with this, before I forget, 96-week lockup, right? You will get, with Moonbeam, 30% of the rewards distributed on its launch of the, basically the Ethereum contracts, right? So whenever it is bridged together with that, you will get 30%, which is pretty cool, right? Then after that, it will be distributed in a nice little, I think it's weekly, I believe it's weekly. Over 96 weeks, you'll get a distribution very, very slowly. And yeah, passive income essentially throughout the course of a potential bear market over that time period, which I do think there will be one. Moving on to the next one, obviously it's a Kala. I'm not gone too heavy on this, I'll be perfectly honest with you. The rewards are really, really good. But I'm open-minded to a potential, you know, if the market sentiment does die off a little bit, how powerful will DeFi be? I don't know. So I've not gone too balls deep on this one, just in case it doesn't really deliver the goods in terms of price action immediately. However, with this one, the reason why I've not gone as heavy as well is because I only get 20% back in terms of the original distribution, which is totally fine, and that means less risk, obviously, because I'm going to get less to play with. But that's the element to it. Even though 20% is quite a decent chunk, even on Moonbeam with 30%, it still allows me to be able to take something off the table if I want to, even though I'm going to get my Polkadot back. However, this is a different type of project. This is why we do research. This is why we figure it out. I think this will be very, very good. I just don't know what market sentiment is going to give us. If we do get a bear market within that time period, will the DeFi world hold up pretty well? With token utility, it should. However, we all know what happens when people shit themselves in the market. They will over borrow, over leverage, and the price action will mean liquidations. Then that means loss of trust. That is the element to this. And this is why the world of Ethereum is, in my opinion, under a bit of threat with the likes of this, because the fees, the gas situation, all kinds of stuff like that, which obviously increases your pain because you've lost loads of money instead of just a little bit. Now, I do like this project quite a lot. They've got a real good set of partners. They've got a lot of backing, as you can imagine. They've already been, well, nearly 800 million now in terms of the raise. Really, really good in terms of what is happening on this. So I am pretty confident it will do well. But as I say, I'm not going as heavy because I do get less rewards as the initial. However, nice little linear kind of distribution over a period of 96 weeks is pretty nice realistically. So that will obviously, if the bear market is pretty brutal, if we do have one, don't just say we are, that is ultimately going to help me in some way. Potentially, who knows. Anyways, if you want to get involved in this, go to the main link. This one you can get rewards as well, as I've mentioned, so you get a little bonus if you've got a referee, which is why I say go to the link below. You can jump in, and even if you put a small amount in, you get a little bit of an extra. So there you go. Ends in 21 hours is extra 5%. So, realistically, we've only got 21 hours. So no pressure, but there we go. Very, very simple. The last one, Affinity. Why? You're probably wondering. Well, you all know I don't really like NFTs that much. I do apologise if that rumbles your feathers. I just don't think art as a speculative value within a bear market could mean good things. That could be pretty brutal. So I don't know what's going to happen. So I don't really tend to invest in the individual asset itself. But in terms of like metaverse and players you earn and stuff like that, I'm kind of interested. But I'm more interested in this. I really rate this because of this. The amount of money that is utilized and used on the Ethereum chain for this process is mega. It's unbelievable. When you go onto Etherscan, you can see that OpenSea is the biggest one. You think one transaction, right? 120 million tokens could be basically minted and processed within that as NFTs and stuff like that. That is ridiculous. And then you got batches of 12,000 in a transaction. So every 6 seconds, which is the block time essentially for Polkadot, you've got that going through it as a maximum. Wow. So in terms of what all this is as well, essentially this is a project that is run by Engine, which is built on a substrate, which is going to go onto the parachain of the relay chain essentially for Polkadot, which is going to enable them to run their marketplace for NFTs and their metaverse, essentially, right? So it's going to be faster, it's going to be cheaper, it's going to be more efficient and more secure. It's going to be much better than it ever has been. And this is my play. I think this could be the future of NFTs moving forward in terms of a way for it to go away from essentially OpenSea onto something that is going to save people a lot of pain in the asses and fees. So you got cross-chain bridge, cool. Obviously incentivization, decentralized governance, obviously the fuel tanks there as well. Yeah, it's all there. What more do you want? When you think about a platform which has already got a user base anyways, which is Engine, which is huge, it's pretty good. So there you go. That's unbelievable in terms of numbers. Even though there will be some sort of degradation with that because that is just testing numbers. But at the same time, when you think about the bloatiness of the Ethereum chain and the contracts of Ethereum, that's why it costs so much money. This is why it takes so long. It's a totally different ballgame, which is really, really exciting. So there you go. That is it. That's all I want to say. This is not live yet. I will be contributing soon. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. This one, though, I don't believe you get a percentage on initial. You get this as a per year sort of situation. So if you're going to put, say, 100 DOT in, you're going to get so many per year kind of chucked at you for a period of time, right? Which is pretty good. But as you know, it all depends on risk appetite. If you want to look at the roadmap of this and what they're aiming to achieve, it's probably going to be better for the long term anyways, especially when you think about NFTs and the growth of that, metaverse as well, and most importantly, what the market is going to give us. So if you are going to put a decent chunk in here, it could be some pretty decent passive income essentially over that period of time. Anywho, it's a Friday. Go and enjoy yourselves. But yeah, that's my plan. Done.